This is the piece that we're going to do today, the Bayou shack, and this one I did on Stampbord. It's a hard clay surface, and so this will be what we're going to be doing today. Okay, and I first stamped it out on a piece of scratch paper that I cut 3.5 by 5 just to make sure everything was going to fit. And I used scratch board, which is 3.5 by 5. And these are the stamps that I used. I used number 343I, which is the Bayou shack. I used number 304A, the water grass. And then these two stamps, the ducks and the grass, was from the Nature Sheet 9. And then these are all the colors that I used. I used Memento Tuxedo Black ink. I used Marvy Le Plume 2 water-based markers in colors number 72, number 17, and number 1. I used Bayou alcohol markers in the colors BG3 and BG5, 101, 103, and 104, 33 and 37, 94, 48, and 103. And I also used my Copic colorless blender. And I also used a scratch board knife for fine details. This is the one that I used to create the highlights. And so let's begin. I also forgot we used Stampin' Up! Ink for the sky and the water in Pool Party, Marina Mist, and Island Indigo. Okay, I'm going to attempt doing a piece on some stamp board. This particular piece of stamp board is 3.5 by 5 inches. And I will start by using some Memento Tuxedo Black, and I will ink up my Bayou shack stamp. I will add some of my Marvy Le Plume number 72 pine green. And I will take some number 17 steel blue. Then I'm going to place my stamp board right on top and then just press down on it. And now I'll take some of the Reed's stamp and just stamp off the edge here to kind of fill in the edges. Like that. Maybe a little more down like that, and some in. Okay, now I'm going to give this a chance to dry, so we'll be back in a little bit. Okay, it's been a few minutes. Now I'm going to add some color to the sky and the water, and I'm going to use my Tim Holtz Distress blending brush along with some Stampin' Up! Ink. I'm going to use Pool Party, that's the lightest color, then Marina Mist, that's the middle color, and Island Indigo, that will be my darkest color. I'm going to use an alcohol marker to add some color to the trees and the grass area here. And this is a Bayou alcohol marker, and I'm going to use the number 48, which is kind of yellowish green. Okay, now I'm going to use some 103 alcohol marker. It's Bayou again. And this time I'm going to add some color to the trunks of the trees. Okay, now I'm going to use some 101 and 104. And as you can tell from my color chart, the 104 is maybe just a little bit lighter than the 101. So I'm going to start with the 104. Okay, now I'll use the slightly darker one, the 101, and where the shadows are, I will really concentrate. Okay, and it looks like I missed some green underneath here, so I've got to and color in the trunk. Okay, I'm going to use number 94 for the door. And I will use my Copic colorless blender to kind of blend this in. Okay, I'm going to use a little bit of the 104 to add to the reflection underneath the shack here. Now for the roof, I'm going to use BG3 and BG5. Okay, for the windows, I'm going to use number 37 and number 33. And I'll start with the number 37, and I will just color in the windows. The number 37. And then number 33 is a slightly oranger value, and so I'm going to put a little bit of that at the bottom of each window and the top of each window. And then I'll use the number 37 to blend that in. And I'll also add just a touch of the 33 down in the reflection, and then the 37 to blend it out, just to give it a slightly orange tinge. Okay, and I'll use some of my BG5 to add some shadows. Okay, and I want to see whether or not I can put the duck in here without it looking too out of place. It's kind of hard to tell, but I'm thinking I could maybe put it right at the very bottom edge. We'll see. Okay, first I'm going to stamp some grass at the bottom. And so I will ink up these reeds here in black, and I will also add some of my 72 to give it a green cast to it. Okay, and then let me see. I'm still trying to decide on the duck. I guess I'll take a chance with it, and let me get. Okay, now I would normally use white gel pen to make the white highlights on here, but since this is Stampbord, I'm going to use one of these boring tools, which I've never used before, so it'll be interesting to see how well I can do with this. But I'm going to start down here with the little duck and just kind of scrape along the top here. Maybe put some along here also. I'm also going to maybe put some hint of some stars starting in the sky. I don't know if this is the right one to use for that. Okay, let's see, I'm gonna try and make some of these stars a little bit bigger, because they just kind of look like holes right now. And maybe this one I'll just make into a shiny star. Maybe. Now let's see with this one, I'm going to recolor some of these because they're supposed to be on top of those water ripples. So I'll take my black Marvy Le Plume and I'll just sign it. Now, something that Kevin at Stampscapes recommended is that I put a border of white pigment ink around it to make kind of like a little frame. I'm going to think about that for a while. I'm afraid I'm going to ruin it if I try and do something like that. But if I decide to do it, I'll come back. What I'll probably do instead is I've got one of these 3.5 by 5 frames that I got from the Dollar Tree. And so I'll probably just put it in here instead of trying to put a border around it with pigment ink. And here's the final product before it's been sprayed with polyurethane, because I don't have my polyurethane yet. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.